podcast where truth moves faster than a Holstein calf. No waiting on some pretty page. We're charting new ground in the digital age. From genomic codes to robot facts, we cut through the noise, no holding back. Not your daddy's dairy news tonight. We're sparking debates with every insight. The ring's not where the real fight's at. It's in the data, in the channel chat. From pasture to processor to your morning cup, we're raising the stakes. Try and get ahead of herd. Yeah! Where the future's more than just a word. Ahead of herd. Come on! The Bullvine's calling, let your voice be heard.
Welcome to the Bullvine podcast, where dairy meets straight talk and sharper thinking. We're your hosts, the Bullvine team, bringing you the latest inside perspectives from across the dairy industry. Today's episode dives into the true story behind herd management software in 2025, what's working, what's hype, and what producers like you are really seeing in the barn. We'll cut through the noise, share hard numbers, and challenge the usual sales pitch. Whether you're running 100 cows or 2,000, if you care about staying ahead of the herd, this one's for you. Grab your coffee, park the excuses, and let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Bullvine podcast, the show that digs deep into the topics that matter most to dairy producers, helping you cut through the noise and get straight to the insights that impact your operation.
That's right. Today we're doing a real deep dive, tackling a truly interesting feature article from the Bullvine it's got everyone talking. Dairy Tech in 2025. Discipline delivers real ROI. And it's not just that one piece. We've actually got a stack of companion articles and, research from university extensions to really round out our understanding here.
Yeah.
Our mission today is basically to break it all down, unpack the nuances, and ultimately answer a crucial question for you, our listener. Is herd management technology genuinely delivering on its promises?
Or is it just another shiny object in the barn, kind of distracting from the real work?
Exactly. Is it hype or help?
Okay, let's unpack this then, because the articles start by challenging a common perception, right? There's a huge amount of hype around dairy technology.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're asking, is this tech a magic fix just for the biggest players, or is there maybe a more nuanced reality unfolding? But they quickly pivot to something undeniable, the dramatic, industry-altering shifts happening in dairy right now.
Yeah, undeniable is the word.
So what's the core, almost stark reality these sources highlight about the current state of the dairy landscape?
Well, what these articles really bring into sharp focus is a picture of relentless consolidation. We're talking about a profound transformation in the U.S. dairy landscape that's reshaping, everything.
How profound are we talking?
Get this. Between 2017 and 2023, nearly 40% of U.S. dairies simply closed their doors.
40%, wow.
Yeah, it's a staggering drop from around 39,300 licensed herds down to about 24,000. And it's not just a U.S. thing. Canadian dairy farms also saw a significant decrease, about 2.6% annually from 2014 to 2024.
So these aren't just statistics floating around.
No, not at all. These are entire livelihoods, family legacies, ways of life that have fundamentally changed. It really speaks to immense pressure in the industry.
That's a truly sobering set of numbers. It paints a picture of an industry under incredible strain. But here's where it gets really interesting for me, and maybe a bit counterintuitive.
Right.
Despite this massive reduction in the sheer number of farms, total U.S. milk output actually keeps climbing.
Right.
It's a real paradox of production. Fewer farms, but more milk. How is this even possible? And what does this paradox tell us about the long-term trajectory of the industry?
Yeah.
Does it mean the traditional mid-sized farm is doomed?
It's absolutely a paradox, and it's one that's being driven by a really clear trend. The survivors are running significantly larger, more productive herds. Farms with 1,000 cows and up now produce almost 2/3 of all American milk.
2/3.
Yeah. So for a long time, the narrative has definitely been get bigger, get out, and these numbers, they certainly seem to support that. This concentration of production is also a primary engine for the global herd management software market. It's now roughly a $5 billion industry.
$5 billion just for herd management software.
Just for that. And guess who's fueling that growth? North America's megahertz, largely. So it looks like expansion is the only answer, right?
It certainly points that way.
But what's truly fascinating is how the articles then challenge this get bigger, get out simplification. They suggest a much more nuanced reality for how farms can actually find profitability and sustainability.
Okay, so you're hinting that sheer size isn't the only lever for survival, or maybe not even the most effective one.
Exactly.
The articles present a compelling counter-narrative to that size equals success mindset. Can you walk us through a specific example, something that really drives this home?
Absolutely. The sources provide a really illuminating case study that basically flips that conventional wisdom on its head.
Okay, I'm listening.
Imagine a 420-cow Wisconsin operation. Now, instead of massive expansion, they strategically invested in robotics and precision feeding.
So smart tech, not just more cows.
Precisely. And what was the outcome? A remarkable cost of production of just $16.80 per hundredweight or 100 weight.
$16.80. That's pretty lean.
Very lean. And this efficiency translated directly into annual savings of $95,000. And get this, they saw a full payback on their investment in just 22 months.
22 months. That's incredibly fast ROI.
It is. Now, contrast that with their neighbor, a farm that took the traditional get big route, expanding from 300 to 800 cows.
Okay, so significant expansion.
Huge expansion. Required a hefty $1.8 million capital investment, which led to a monthly debt service of $22,000.
Oof, that's pressure.
Big pressure. And their break-even price, it shot up to $19.20 per hundredweight shed, putting them under, considerable financial stress.
So it's not just about different approaches.
No, it's about fundamentally different outcomes in profitability, in long-term viability.
Wow, that's a stark comparison. It really resonates. So for a producer listening right now, maybe feeling that relentless pressure to expand, what's the fundamental message here? It sounds like technology can be a powerful lever, not just for productivity,
but for lifestyle and debt management too,
Okay.
Precisely. This example fundamentally demonstrates that technology-driven efficiency, not just massive physical expansion and all the debt that comes with it, is the true determinant of survival and profitability in today's market.
So what does it mean for you listening?
It means technology can empower even smaller to mid-sized farms to leverage precision and compete effectively, not just on output, but on the bottom line.
And maybe even quality of life.
And even the quality of life on the farm, absolutely. It offers a pathway to bypass the kind of, frankly, farm-threatening debt that often comes with rapid, large-scale expansion.
So the idea that you must expand to survive
Is powerfully challenged here. Instead, the real survival strategies seem to go optimize, be smart, apply technology strategically.
It suggests profitability and lifestyle can actually coexist, maybe even at a more modest scale, if you're willing to embrace smart tech.
That's the takeaway. It's a different path forward.
That's a potential game changer for how we think about dairy farm strategy. And building on that, if the shifting landscape wasn't challenging enough, let's turn to another pressure point, one that keeps, I know, many dairy producers up at night. The ongoing labor shortage.
Ah, yes. The big one.
The articles don't mince words. They describe it as a nightmare across North America. It's not just about finding hands anymore, is it?
No. It's high turnover, it's rising wages, it's the sheer difficulty of finding and retaining skilled workers.
So what are the sources telling us about the sheer scale of this crisis? Is it just a temporary bump or something deeper?
It's definitely deeper. You've hit on one of the most critical stressors for dairy farmers right now. This isn't just a temporary crunch. It's a profound structural transformation impacting the entire agricultural sector.
How bad are the numbers?
The numbers are frankly alarming. The domestic labor gap in the U.S. agricultural sector is projected to increase by 15% between 2023 and 2030.
15% increase.
Yeah, swelling from about 87,700 needed workers to a staggering 111,100 during peak season. And north of the border, in Canada, the situation is equally dire. Over 85,000 Canadian agricultural workers, that's roughly 30% of the sector's workforce, are expected to retire by 2030.
30% retiring. That's a huge experience drain.
Colossal figures. This isn't a problem you can just patch over with slightly higher wages or, a few good hires here and there. It's systemic.
Which means?
It absolutely demands technological solutions to maintain operational viability, let alone think about profitability.
Okay, that really underscores the urgency. But the good news, as the articles seem to powerfully hint, is that technology isn't just a Band-Aid here, right? It could be a significant part of the long-term solution.
Absolutely. The data is compelling on this front.
The sources mention promising numbers for labor savings.
You do. For farms pushing 500 cows or more, if they're leveraging robotic systems or tightly integrated herd management software, they're reliably seeing labor savings in the range of 20 to 35%.
20 to 35%. That's substantial.
It really is. Now, for smaller herds, say 150 to 300 cows, while the long-term studies are maybe still catching up a bit, expansion and industry advisors are estimating a best-case scenario of around 10 to 18% savings.
Still significant for a smaller operation.
Definitely. And what's important to note is these aren't just theoretical numbers pulled out of thin air. These are based on real-world farm data, and you hear the positive buzz at producer meetings reflecting these tangible benefits.
But the articles also emphasize something interesting. It's not just about raw numbers or simply replacing human hands with machines. There's a deeper, more qualitative transformation happening.
Yes, in the type of labor required.
Exactly, which has significant implications for both farm efficiency and potentially employee satisfaction. Can you elaborate on that shift?
Yeah, absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, there's University of Minnesota research noting that most farms don't necessarily see a dramatic reduction in total labor hours.
Okay, so not fewer people overall necessarily.
Not always. Instead, what they experience is a profound change in the nature of the labor required. The time previously spent on repetitive, often physically demanding, and frankly, less engaging tasks.
Like manual milking, constant pen checks.
Exactly. That time is significantly freed up. This allows workers to shift their focus to more technical, higher-value responsibilities.
Such as?
Well, we're talking about things like sophisticated data management and analysis, strategic planning for herd health or reproduction, maybe optimizing crop quality, or even maintaining these complex robotic systems.
So it transforms jobs from purely physical
to more analytical and strategic roles, which can be far more engaging, right? And add much more value to the farm's overall operation.
So it's about optimizing human capital as much as saving on labor costs, elevating roles rather than just eliminating them.
That's a great way to put it.
And the sources provide some pretty specific numbers for these savings, don't they? To give us a clearer picture of the financial impact.
They absolutely do. For instance, robotic systems, they're documented to offer 10 to 29% labor savings. And the time spent just on milking management can drop dramatically.
How dramatic.
From an average of maybe 5.2 hours per day down to just 2 hours.
Wow, over 3 hours saved just on milking management?
Yeah. Think about that. More than half a typical workday freed up from just one task. And users of Delpro, that's a leading herd management software platform. In robotic barns, they're consistently reporting daily labor cuts of up to 6 hours. Peer data confirms overall savings of 18 to 33% once teams are really dialed into the new system.
Dialed in. Okay.
And there's an Iowa State Extension analysis on a 140-cow dairy. They found an automatic milking system, an AMS, led to labor savings of 6 hours per day.
6 hours a day on a 140-cow farm. What's the financial translation?
That translates into an impressive $32,850 in annual financial savings for that single operation.
$32,000 a year. That's significant.
Yeah, it is. And what's more, a well-designed robot system can potentially enable a family operation to manage, say, 150 to 200 cows with the same labor they previously needed for only 80 to 100 cows.
That's not just marginal improvement.
No, that's a genuine game changer for operations struggling to find reliable, skilled help.
It's clear the financial benefits are substantial, but the articles also wisely touch on the human element, which is something we sometimes overlook when we're just crunching numbers.
Very true.
There's that poignant anecdote in the sources about the best night guy nearly quitting over a cold calf. That really brings home the emotional toll, the immense stress of demanding farm work.
That anecdote is really powerful, I agree, because it moves beyond the balance sheet and into the lived experience of farm labor.
Yeah.
It highlights how technology can dramatically improve the quality of life on the farm, which is absolutely crucial for employee retention in this brutal labor market.
Makes sense. Less burnout, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. When technology takes over some of the most monotonous, physically demanding, or even emotionally draining tasks, it can significantly reduce burnout. It can make the farm a far more appealing workplace.
Like freeing up skilled workers from midnight calf checks.
Right. By using remote monitoring systems or alleviating the physical grind of milking day in, day out, strategic tech adoption isn't just about cutting costs anymore.
It's more holistic.
It's a holistic investment in your human resources. It shifts the focus from mere cost-cutting to creating a more sustainable, attractive, and frankly, humane environment for your valuable employees.
And let's be honest, in a tight labor market.
Happy retained employees are, in many ways, priceless. It cultivates a sense of trust and care, which pays dividends in productivity and loyalty down the line.
So this raises an important question then. Are we merely replacing hands, or are we truly elevating the roles on the farm, creating a more sustainable environment for our teams, making dairy farming maybe a more appealing career path long-term?
It seems the answer, based on these insights, is leading pretty strongly towards the latter, suggesting a brighter, more tech-integrated future for farm employment, I think.
Okay, moving beyond those broader impacts of industry shifts in labor, the articles really start to dig into quantifying the actual return on investment, the ROI, from specific technologies.
Yeah, getting down to brass tacks.
It's not just about general labor savings. Substantial returns are found in areas like reproductive and health management, and crucially, feed optimization.
Absolutely key areas.
And the core insight here seems profound. Technology provides an early warning system, but the value is truly unlocked by management's timely and consistent action. There's that great quote from the sources that perfectly sums it up. The app finds the cow, but you gotta treat her by noon or it's just bites, not results.
It truly is a great line. That quote should be like emblazoned on every farm's whiteboard.
Right.
Because it resonates with the experience of so many producers. The data is only as good as what you actually do with it.
So let's look at some tangible examples from the sources that illustrate this. Wearable monitors, for instance, like activity and rumination collars.
Yeah, systems like Allflex SenseHub or the AFA collar systems. Over 1 million North American cows now wear SenseHub collars alone.
1 million collars.
Yeah. And Iowa State University extension data points to an impressive average of 87% heat detection accuracy with these systems. Provided
the caveat.
Provided that disciplined protocols for checking and acting on the data are consistently maintained. Farmers are consistently reporting more accurate heat detection and consequently lower empty rates, which is a huge win for reproductive efficiency.
So that caveat, if protocols stick, is absolutely key then.
Couldn't be more key.
What kind of hard ROI are we talking about if those protocols do stick and you're diligently using these systems?
But the ROI for these wearable systems can be quite rapid. Payback periods expected within a tight 15 to 20 months.
Pretty fast.
But, and this is crucial, only with disciplined protocols. It really highlights that the human element isn't removed by technology, it's just refocused.
Right.
For AvaFarm users, another popular platform, in Michigan and the Northeast, they're seeing substantial savings of $120 to $200 per cow per year.
Okay, $128 to $200 per cow.
But again, that's only if the team checks the dashboards daily and acts on the alerts. As the article states with a touch of humor, if you snooze on the tech, the magic quickly fades.
You snooze, you lose the savings.
Pretty much. And we have a really compelling case study from Rob Hook Farm.
Oh, yeah.
After implementing the AFA collar system, they achieved a remarkable 10% increase in their calving rate and a 20% reduction in their reliance on costly fertility drugs.
10% more calves, 20% less on drugs. That's solid.
Very solid. But what's even more impressive, and perhaps invaluable, is how the system detected a potentially devastating outbreak of facial eczema.
How did it do that?
It identified cows with subtle, almost imperceptible changes in rumination and chewing rates before any clinical symptoms were visible to the human eye.
Wow, before anyone could see it.
Exactly. This incredibly early warning allowed them to isolate and treat affected animals, preventing a much larger outbreak that could have decimated the herd's health and profitability.
That shows the return isn't just direct savings.
No, it's also in averting catastrophic crises. It's proactive crisis prevention, almost like an insurance policy.
That's truly incredible. Preventing a major health crisis like that could save a farm literally hundreds of thousands, maybe more, far beyond the direct cost of treatments. What about feed management systems? For most dairies, feed is the single largest operational expense, right?
Oh, by far.
So optimization here must be absolutely crucial.
Absolutely crucial, yes. Feed accounts for up to 60% of total milk production costs, making optimization in this area non-negotiable for profitability.
So what are the savings potential there?
The sources highlight that genuine, consistently logged entries in precision feed management systems are cutting $15,000 to $30,000 per year in feed waste for herds of under 20 to 200 head.
$15,000 to $30,000 just from logging feed properly?
Just from logging accurately and consistently, that's real money that stays in the farmer's pocket. Advanced precision feeding systems can potentially deliver a 15% reduction in overall feed costs and save between 75 cents to $1.25 per hundredweight.
75 cents to $1.25 per hundredweight. That adds up fast.
It really does. But the key, as the article emphasizes again, is to log actual data continuously. Not just, when the nutritionist visits.
Right, not just for show.
Exactly. These systems, like Dynamica Generali's DTM, provide continuous real-time data on ration deviations, on feed-to-milk conversion. This allows for ongoing dynamic optimization.
So you're minimizing costly over- or underfeeding.
Precisely. Ensuring every cow gets exactly what she needs every single day. It's about being precise minute by minute, not just periodically. It turns what was once maybe a bit of a guessing game into a science.
That's a massive amount of money to save annually. Makes sense that small deviations, compounded over time, add up to significant losses. And what about health monitoring for specific high-cost issues, like mastitis or lameness?
Yeah, those are big profit drains.
What kind of ROI are we seeing there?
For health monitoring, the sources indicate that a significant $180 to $240 per cow per year in savings are potentially on the table.
Okay, up to $240 a cow.
For barns that effectively act on mastitis or lameness alarms. But here's that critical catch again.
The human element.
The human element. Those savings only materialize when producers respond within critical time windows.
So speed matters.
Speed is everything. If the app flags a potential issue, say an early mastitis indicator, but you delay action, the financial benefit quickly dissipates. The condition worsens, requires more intensive treatment, impacts milk quality, impacts yield.
It reinforces that core idea again.
Absolutely. The technology is an incredibly powerful early warning system, but the real value is truly unlocked by management's timely, consistent, and disciplined action. Prevention is worth far more than the cure.
What's truly fascinating here, threading through all these examples, is that the technology is undeniably the enabler. It offers these incredible insights and efficiencies.
Yeah, the potential is huge.
But the human element of consistent, disciplined action is what truly turns that data into dollars. It's about engagement, continuous learning, adapting your routines.
Not just installing a new gadget and hoping for the best.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about the incredible potential for ROI, how it's changing the industry landscape, addressing critical labor challenges. But for many producers, let's face it, the elephant in the barn is the sheer capital investment required.
Yeah, the sticker shock can be real.
Especially for robotics. Beyond the initial price tag, there are crucial considerations: long-term costs, regulatory compliance, and most importantly, how do you actually integrate these tools into daily farm life effectively?
Right, the practicalities.
And the core insight the articles keep circling back to is this: dairy tech is only as tough as your routines. Discipline still beats gadgets. ROI comes from showing up, not just signing on. It really grounds us, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It's a vital reminder. This is where the rubber truly meets the road. It's not just about buying the latest gadget. It's about making it work for your specific operation and, as you said, navigating an increasingly complex regulatory landscape.
So let's break down the financial considerations first. That's often the initial hurdle.
Definitely. The initial cost for just a single robotic milking unit typically ranges from, say, $150,000 to $230,000.
Per robot.
Per robot. For a full transition for maybe a 100-cow dairy, you could be looking at potentially $430,000 up to $740,000.
That's a major investment.
It's huge. And what's crucial to remember, and often underestimated, is that total implementation costs can run 40% above the equipment price.
40% more. For what?
Things like electrical wiring upgrades, specialized training for staff, necessary facility modifications. These aren't minor add-ons. They're integral, often expensive parts of the overall investment.
Okay, that's a significant upfront commitment. Can be intimidating.
Yeah.
And it's not just the initial cost, right? There are ongoing maintenance costs too.
Absolutely. Those need to be factored in for long-term planning. They can really impact the overall ROI calculation.
How much are we talking?
Well, some reports suggest initial maintenance costs around $5,000 per robot in the early years. But that figure can climb significantly, maybe to $10,000 or even $25,000 annually as units age and need more extensive parts or service.
10 to 25 grand a year per robot.
Yeah. Compare that to the typical $45 to $55 per cow for conventional parlor maintenance. It's a substantial difference that demands careful budgeting.
Okay, but the sources mention an alternative, something about targeted automation.
Yes, and this is a smart approach. Consider targeted automation packages. These involve a lower initial investment, maybe $75,000 to $125,000.
Much more manageable upfront.
Exactly. And they often offer a faster payback period, maybe 3 to 5 years, with a robust 100 to 200 per person ROI.
What kind of things fall under targeted automation?
We're talking about things like automatic calf feeders, maybe feed pushers, automatic manure scrapers, or specific environmental sensors. These smaller, more focused investments can often address critical pain points with a quicker, more manageable return.
So you don't have to go all in on robots immediately.
Not necessarily. Overall, while some operations do see payback for full robotic systems in as little as 22 months, like that Wisconsin example, it can range all the way up to 7 to 10 years, depending on the setup, herd size, and critically, how well it's implemented and managed. So careful financial planning and a strategic approach are definitely key.
It's good to know there are options beyond the highest capital investment, allowing farms to kind of scale their tech adoption. And speaking of financing, what about grants? Are there government programs available to help offset these substantial costs?
Yes. Thankfully, various government programs are indeed available. Both the USDA Dairy Business Innovation Initiatives in the U.S. and Ontario's agri-tech programs in Canada, for instance, are designed to cover a significant portion.
Yes, I forget.
Typically 35 to 50% of new technology purchases.
35 to 50% covered. That's huge.
It can make a massive difference. In the U.S., the Dairy Business Innovation Alliance, or DBIA, offers funding up to $150,000 for large equipment, mainly aimed at small to medium farms in the Midwest.
Okay.
Then there's the Northeast Dairy Business Innovation Center, NEDBIC, providing grants from $15,000 to $100,000 with a 25% match requirement for projects focused on viability and modernization.
And in Canada.
North of the border, the Ontario Agri-Tech Innovation Cost Share Program provides up to 35% of eligible project costs, to a maximum of $100,000 per project. This is aimed at adopting automation to address labor shortages and increase productivity.
Those sound like truly fantastic opportunities. Could make a significant difference for many farms. But I remember a crucial caveat in the sources about these grants.
Ah, yes. The fine print, so to speak.
What was it? Because I imagine it's not as simple as just filling out a form and getting a check.
No, definitely not. And that's a very important point many might overlook. It's the practical reality. Don't forget to count application time every hour matters.
Application time itself costs money, essentially.
Exactly. Grants are not free money. They are subsidized capital that requires a significant investment of time and effort. Navigating the paperwork, meeting strict deadlines, adhering to specific eligibility requirements, it's an administrative burden.
It needs to be factored in.
Absolutely. Think of it as an upfront labor investment. Leveraging technical assistance providers, university extension services can certainly help navigate this complex process and strengthen applications, but you need to be prepared for that time commitment.
Okay, good advice. Beyond finances, there's also the increasingly stringent regulatory landscape. The articles highlight how technology is becoming not just helpful, but maybe essential for compliance.
Essential is the word.
And incredibly, even transforming record-keeping into a potential revenue stream. That's a powerful idea. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, this is an area where technology isn't just an advantage. It's rapidly becoming a mandate, a non-negotiable part of doing business.
Like with proAction in Canada.
Exactly. Canada's proAction program requires meticulous record-keeping across 6 critical pillars: animal care, food safety, traceability, environment, biosecurity, and milk quality.
And the tech helps manage all that.
It has to. If your herd management software doesn't sync accurately with Lactanet, that's the national organization tracking Canadian dairy production data, you could face big trouble at quota review, which determines your farm's milk production allowance.
So compliance is directly tied to your ability to produce and sell milk.
Directly. And in the U.S., you've got FSMA Rule 204. That becomes effective in January 2026.
What does that require?
It mandates that businesses provide comprehensive traceability records within 24 hours of an FDA request and maintain them in a sortable electronic format.
24 hours, electronic format.
Yeah. This isn't a suggestion. It's a critical step for food safety for quick recall capabilities. It fundamentally means manual record keeping just won't cut it anymore. It won't be practical or sufficient for meeting these strict traceability requirements.
The world is getting more transparent.
And technology is the tool for that transparency.
So what's the real financial impact of this compliance mandate? Is it truly a revenue stream like the article suggests, or is it more about just avoiding penalties?
Well, it absolutely can be both. The sources offer a stark, real-world example. A Pennsylvania DFA herd lost a $5,000 premium
For what?
for a single missed log entry.
$5,000 for one missed entry. Wow.
That's a significant financial hit for what could be a simple oversight. Digital record keeping prevents those costly losses by providing bulletproof, verifiable data.
So it protects your income.
Yes. And by having these robust digital records, farms can not only avoid stiff penalties and fines, but also earn premiums from processors, secure market access from retailers and consumers who increasingly value transparency and verified quality.
So the premiums are the revenue part.
Exactly. In this evolving environment, technology-driven compliance transforms what used to be a burdensome cost center into potentially a powerful competitive advantage and a profit center. It's about protecting your bonuses, streamlining audits, building trust in your product.
That's a truly powerful shift in perspective, moving from compliance as a chore to compliance as a strategic asset. Okay, so given all these considerations, the costs, the grants, the regulatory pressures, what truly makes technology pay off on a dairy farm? What's that fundamental discipline factor the articles keep emphasizing?
Yeah, that word discipline comes up again and again. The most important overarching finding from all the analysis is that success is unequivocally about discipline, not just downloads.
Discipline, not downloads. I like that.
The articles note that implementation failure rates can be as high as 30 to 40% in the first year if farms underestimate the infrastructure needs or the demands on management and staff.
30 to 40% failure rate. That's high.
It is. The technology itself might be a beautiful piece of engineering, but it's only as effective as the routines and the unwavering commitment behind it.
So what are the key practices for success? How do you turn data into dollars consistently?
The sources lay out some very clear practices. First, focus on your biggest pain point.
Don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly. Whether it's that crushing labor shortage, persistent fertility challenges, or the increasing compliance burdens, identify that one core bottleneck and choose technology that directly addresses that issue first. Don't try to solve everything at once.
Okay, focus. What's next?
Second, designate one person to own the solution. This is absolutely critical.
The tech boss.
The tech boss, exactly.
Yep.
It avoids that classic pitfall where everyone's job is no one's responsibility. This individual becomes the champion, the driver, the go-to expert for that specific tech.
Makes sense. Accountability. Number 3.
Third, and this one's a bit unconventional, but I think incredibly insightful, trial new systems during your operation's toughest stretch.
Toughest stretch. Like calving season.
Maybe calving season, the depths of winter, during haylage runs. This forces you to integrate it when conditions are most challenging. It reviews its true value and identifies any weaknesses when they matter most.
Trial by fire.
Kind of. If it can survive your worst days, it'll thrive on your best.
Interesting approach. Okay, number 4.
Fourth, run weekly dashboard meetings. If the numbers on your dashboard aren't shifting positively, then it's time to change the staff's approach or the process itself. Don't just assume the software's failing.
Active management, not passive hope.
Precisely. This commitment to ongoing training, continuous learning, building a culture of data-driven decision-making that's paramount for long-term success. It's about consistently showing up, interpreting the data, and taking timely action.
So it's definitely not a set it and forget it solution then.
Not even close. It's an ongoing, active process of engagement and adaptation.
And looking ahead, the articles even touch on emerging trends like the AI-first future. How does today's tech adoption connect to tomorrow's, more sophisticated AI-driven insights? What's that bridge for our listeners?
This is where it gets really exciting, and it points to the strategic imperative of adopting technology today.
Why today?
Because while today's tools excel at collecting data for dashboards and reports, the next generation of dairy management is rapidly moving toward proactive, predictive systems, driven by artificial intelligence and machine learning.
AI is coming to the barn.
It's already here in some ways. AI is transforming predictive health, for example. AI-powered health monitoring is projected to be a market worth over $1.15 billion in 2025.
How does it work?
This technology analyzes complex, multi-layered data from rumination collars, activity trackers, even barn cameras potentially to predict health issues with significant accuracy, often before any clinical symptoms even appear.
Catching issues days, even weeks in advance.
That's the goal. We're also seeing AI integrated into feed formulation. to create more efficient, cost-effective rations. Dynamically adjusting based on real-time data from the herd and feed components.
Wow.
And sophisticated machine learning algorithms are being developed to forecast both short-term daily and long-term milk yields with unprecedented accuracy, allowing for much better planning and resource allocation.
So it's a fundamental shift from reactive
To truly proactive management, where the system makes recommendations to prevent issues before they ever become visible.
And the crucial link here is
The crucial link is that adopting today's technology, investing in those sensors and software, is a necessary step, because the data collected now is quite literally the fuel for tomorrow's AI-driven insights. Without that rich, consistent data, the power of AI remains untapped. You need the foundation.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's clear that technology is becoming less about a magic fix and much more about an essential integrated management system. It requires a strategic and disciplined approach from every farm that adopts it, building that robust, data-driven foundation for a profitable and sustainable future. Okay, so after all that incredible detail and analysis, for our farmer listening today, what are the absolute key takeaways? What are the top things they should really keep in mind about dairy tech in 2025 as they plan for the future of their operation?
That's a great question, and I think there are a few critical points that really stand out from these sources. They almost form a roadmap for success. First and foremost, prioritize and focus.
We talked about that. Don't chase shiny objects.
Exactly. Don't get caught up chasing every new gadget. Instead, identify your farm's core bottleneck. Is it labor, fertility, compliance, and invest in technology that directly addresses that specific pain point first.
Solve the biggest problem first.
It will yield the quickest, most impactful returns, give you confidence to explore further.
Okay. Takeaway number 2.
Second, designate a tech boss. We mentioned this, but it's crucial for successful implementation. Avoid the everyone's job is no one's responsibility trap.
Clear ownership.
Assign a single individual on your team to own that new tech solution. They oversee implementation, training, troubleshooting, drive those weekly dashboard meetings. Make sure you're seeing measurable results, making data-driven decisions. Without clear ownership, even the best tech can falter.
Got it. Third takeaway.
Third, remember, it's all about discipline over downloads. Technology is only as effective as your routines. ROI isn't automatic. It comes from consistent, disciplined use.
Daily logging, timely action.
Exactly. Daily data logging, timely action based on the insights. Implementing robust protocols around heat detection, precision feeding, record keeping. The tech gives you the information. Your discipline turns it into profit.
Discipline over downloads. Okay, fourth.
Fourth, leverage funding. But be prepared. Explore those government grant programs like USDA Dairy Business Innovation or Ontario's Agritech initiatives. They can cover a significant chunk, 35–50% sometimes.
But be realistic about the application process.
Be realistic. Factor in the significant time and effort required for the application itself. These grants aren't free money. They demand a well-thought-out plan and administrative commitment. But the investment in applying can pay off hugely.
Makes sense. Fifth point.
Fifth, view compliance as a profit center. Understand that bulletproof digital records aren't just about avoiding penalties anymore.
They're about securing premiums, market access.
Right. Systems that sync with platforms like Lactantet or meet FSMA Rule 204 requirements can protect bonuses, streamline audits. They effectively turn what used to be a cost center into a competitive advantage, potentially a source of revenue.
Shift that perspective. Okay, and finally,
and this is a big one, I think, for long-term sustainability, plan for the human factor. Understand that new technology requires new skills. It requires a strategic shift in labor roles.
Invest in training, vendor support.
Absolutely. Invest in comprehensive training. Secure strong vendor support from the outset. And crucially, communicate openly with your team. Talk about how technology will free them up for higher value, more engaging tasks.
Improve job satisfaction, retention.
Which is huge in this labor market. The farms that will truly thrive by, say, 2030 won't just be those who solve the labor shortage. They'll be the ones who strategically embrace technology to redefine labor, making the old challenges maybe less relevant and creating more appealing skilled roles.
Redefining labor through tech, that's a powerful thought to end on.
Great points. And that's a lot to mull over for any producer looking to secure their future. And I think that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. For more articles and insights like this, be sure to visit www.thebullvine.com.
And don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our next deep dive into the dairy industry's most critical topics. Thanks so much for listening.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Bullvine podcast. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join the conversation. Remember, the only thing more valuable than data is sharing what works and what doesn't with neighbors who truly get it. If you've got a barn floor insight, a tech win, or just a good story, drop us a line at thebullvine.com. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform and catch us next time for more bold, honest, and practical dairy talk. Stay sharp, keep milking it, and we'll see you down the road.